Okay, so I'm here at the Sailloft in Hamburg with Olaf, the sailmaker, and we're going to go over the new air. I've had a few questions about the new air, how to rig it and stuff like this, so we're going to go over the rigging. I'll do that part, and Olaf will talk about the technical specifications about the sail, what's new, why it's been designed, how it is, and what it's good for. So, over to Olaf.
Perfect. Okay, let us start what the key features are from the new air. First point, we made the boom shorter as before. We increased the luff length, we reduced the top area, and we decided to use a new batten setup. All these points that helps us to bring much more control for all ducking maneuvers. So we learned from our team riders that it is really important to have perfect control after ducking, that you can concentrate to the next coming moves. And that was the reason to work with a new batten setup and less area in the top. That you have the control after ducking for the coming move. So together with Adam, we would like to give you some rigging tips.
Alright, thanks Olaf. So first of all, you just rig it like a normal sail. You know, Martin, boom on, extension. So I'll just get on with that and then we'll talk about how to tune it. Okay, so the rigging of the air, it came from the quad, the need for a freestyle sail, and it's a pure freestyle sail now. It's really awesome, it works super good. I've had it for four months or so now. So the rigging itself is it's pretty standard for a windsurf sail. You aim for a bit of loose leech, you don't have too much outhaul on, you know, not too much, not too little. You make sure you've got good, you can press here and get sort of close to the boom. What I've rigged here is the 4.4. It's a little bit different to the 4.8 where you might rig a 4.8 for lighter winds. The 4.4 is usually you're going out in stronger winds. So, you know, you pull the downhaul on so you have just a bit of loose leech, as you'll see in this shot. And then the outhaul, I will adjust it so that it's on, like that's completely off now, and then I'll just pull it on so you get some tension, and then a little bit past it, lock it off, test it, see how close my hand gets to the boom, like this. I want some profile in the sail, I don't want it completely tight. Like the old quad, we used to have it really on as tight as possible. It used to be really, you'd get the sail as flat as possible and then rely on the profile in the battens to give you sort of power. Again, I'm talking about sort of strong wind setup here, because this is the 4.4. I wouldn't pull it too much tighter because one, you actually get these creases in the sail which disrupt the wind flow, but also the sail's not designed to be completely tight. It's got the Dacron, it's got this kind of spring motion where it pulls back. It pulls the battens back so that when you're ducking the sail it goes straight again. So actually a little bit looser than you normally would on other sort of full X-ply sails and like this. Alright, to show the downhaul setting and also to show the loose leech, how we should have this set, I'll just leave the camera there. At the moment we've got quite a tight leech. This is how we used to have the setup on the old quad. This is the main difference here with this sail, is you actually aim for a little bit of a slightly looser leech. This kind of brings a bit more profile back in the sail. Not that you desperately need it, but with the flatter battens and like this, then the sail is working, you know, it's working super good for the ducking. So I would just pull it on. I pull it on far. I always pull it past a bit so I can see sort of the either end, the extremes, and then I release it back, and then a little bit more on, and lock it off there. So you see that it's just dipping down a little bit there. There's just a little bit loose, a bit more than we used to have on the quads. And then make sure you always check the outhaul setting after that, because the downhill will always adjust how much the outhaul is. Alright, so after adjusting the downhaul, the outhaul will change. It always does. So if you put on a lot of downhaul, then the sail's going to become a lot more loose as the top of the mast bends towards the clew here, and that pulls the sail out towards the outer, you know, towards the clue. So the sail, if you pull it on a lot, will look more like this, loose. It might have almost a slight S in it, and you can see that from when you're setting the downhaul. The reason why I'm saying this is because you want the clue, especially in freestyle waves as well, I mean in all windsurfing really, but yeah, you want the clue touching the end part of the boom. And the reason for that is if I had it set like this now with sort of 2 centimeters there loose from the boom's going to move up and down like this. And so if you go for a move, then when you throw the sail, the boom's going to move first before you get any response from the sail. So make sure the clue part of the sail is touching the end of the boom. So I just pull it on there. That might mean you need to change the boom length, not always to the settings. If you put on extreme downhaul, then you might want to just put the boom out 1 more click, or vice versa. If you're in really light winds, you put it in an extra click, just so you can get that touching there at the end. That means you get instant response and feel from the sail as you throw it into a move, so you feel straight away the lift and the power, and you get everything out of the sail, which has had hours and hours of work put into it. Okay, so my last tip for this sail would be not to adjust the downhaul too much as the wind changes, but rather the outhaul just a bit. You don't really need to change the settings a lot. If the wind picks up a lot, don't just start pulling everything on like crazy. Actually, the sail will handle it. It's made really well, and it will handle the big changes in the wind. If you really need to, then change sail. So at the moment, this is the 4.4, I would change to the 4.8. And the 4.8 I would tend to use in a wider wind range, so that you can get the maximum out of that sort of smaller, compact sail size before going on to a 5.2. So let's pretend this is the 4.8 now. And the way I would set it, looking at the light winds, because if we're going to go into strong winds, you jump down to the 4.4. So the way I'd set it in the light winds is I just let a little bit more downhaul off, just, you know, not so the leech is tight, but just so it's, you know, just a little bit loose, and you can just see slight folds, you know, where it's just dropping away. You still want something there. And then the outhaul, I'd adjust that so it was pretty loose. That's the only time I would really make it like where it's almost falling on the sail. You'd have it just there. So forget the boom length for now. I'd adjust that as well, and it would be quite loose like that, so you get as much profile out of the sail. And then the sail works super good. It works really good in light winds on the 4.8 set like that, and you really feel it. Like, you see sometimes it's just sort of touching the boom, and when you pump or something like that, and you really feel the power generate into it. And then when you go to duck it, it just comes back to this sort of, you know, flat sort of profile there, so that it ducks really smooth into the wind, comes straight back into your hands, ready for the next move. And the last thing about not releasing too much downhaul so that the leech is super tight is so that we have this profile still in the sail. You want that profile here so that the wind can fill it and you can get planing earlier. And that's combined with a slight looser setting on the outhaul as well. Thanks for checking this out, this video. If you have any other questions, then let us know. There's more videos online about the other sails, the quad, the ultimate, with other pro riders. And yeah, if you want to know more, then just check the website and these other videos. Until next time.